So I flew into Kuala Lumpur last night here in Malaysia at the Sungai Menyala trail race tomorrow. Just checking out some of the trail today. It's gonna be really hot. It's baking here, really humid, and I'm gonna enjoy the race, so it's gonna be good fun. So 50 kilometers is really gonna be a pretty fast and flat race, I hope. So just picked my race number. Excited for tomorrow's race. It's something a bit different to what I'll usually be doing. 50 kilometers, it's gonna be fast, it's gonna be hot, it's gonna be humid. It's definitely gonna be challenging out there. Really want to come and do this race just purely for those facts, something a bit different to what I've usually been doing in the mountains and the big climbs. Wanted to test myself in different terrain, different environment. The heat and the humidity here is certainly going to be a big challenge tomorrow, and being Malaysia, it's crazy hot and really humid. If anyone's ever stepped off a plane in Kuala Lumpur, you'll know what I'm talking about. As soon as you step off that plane, everything just feels damp. So it's going to be an interesting race, and it's going to be fun here in this forest. It's really beautiful. Checking out some of the course this morning. It's really quite a stunning area, and some really big trees around, and a few leeches and some monkeys and some interesting wildlife. So certainly a bit different from Wales, from what I'm used to growing up, but definitely different from northern Thailand as well in the mountains. So I'm excited for the challenge that tomorrow will bring. Thank you. Well done!
So how you feel, Harry?
I feel like I've melted inside, but just need to eat a load of watermelon, jump in a bath full of ice, and then cheer the other guys coming in. Yeah, I wanted silently, I wanted to go in the 4 hours. I didn't really say that to anyone, but yeah, coming around into the second lap in the hour 50, I knew that it was possible, but I just had to run conservatively to make sure I didn't overheat in the second lap. The course was really fun. You said it was fast, but it's quite difficult to go fast. And some of those sections, the jungle is so windy and then rolling, and there's branches everywhere, so it's more like an obstacle course than anything else at some points, but it's just really good fun. I think one of the Indonesian runners was running with me for a few kilometers in the first lap, and he was really fast and strong in the jungle in the technical bits, but I think maybe he just decided to hold back a little bit, and I kept going. I didn't know how far behind they were. I was just kind of running my own race, and yeah, I didn't see them. The most difficult part is probably in the first 10k. The jungle section there is really windy, and like I said, just really small up and down and roots everywhere, so it was really good fun.
All right.
But I think my ankles might hurt tomorrow. Finished up with the race a few hours ago. Pretty much eaten my body weight in watermelon since. Feeling nice and hydrated now though, which is really good because the heat certainly got really challenging towards the end of that race. Really enjoyed this race. Such a beautiful forest. Really challenging on the trails. Roots everywhere. Some of the sections were some pretty deep mud, which was coming up to the knees. But it's still pretty fast. even with all the technicality. But really happy to come over the course record. I managed to do 3 hours 49, which is a pretty good pace for this course with all that technical terrain. But the presentations are coming on now in a moment, so I've got to head over there and check that out. But definitely congratulations to all the runners out there. There's still runners out there doing the 50k now. They must be, man, that's really strong, really impressive to still be out there in this heat. So congrats to everyone out there running this race today. It's not easy. Everyone doing the 25, the 10k and the 50k, of course. Really good effort. So better head to the presentation. Don't want to be late for that.
Harry Jones from the UK. So Harry has now won his third championship in ASEAN Masters 3 in a row. Congrats, Harry.
So I'm just on an easy recovery run in the Botanic Gardens here in Penang. At the race I put an Instagram post out there asking you guys if you had any questions that you'd like me to kind of cover in the video about the race or the conditions or anything like that. So I'm just going to read through some of those questions now, give you guys some feedback on my answers for those. How hot did it get during the race and how did you manage it? Or are you the kind that loves it hot with your years in Thailand? So yeah, living in Thailand has definitely been a benefit for me in terms of running in the heat and being able to perform and race in the heat in the hotter conditions. Within the race, I'm not entirely sure how hot it got. It probably got into it was definitely in the mid 30s in Celsius. Probably spiked up to that definitely later on in the day. The heat isn't always the only factor though. You have to think about the humidity, and the humidity in Malaysia is certainly pretty high. So that was definitely a big factor for it in the jungle there. It was, we were just soaked within seconds. So that was really more of the challenging aspect. The heat is always difficult, but when you've got the humidity combined as well, it almost kind of sucks out the fluid from your body. So staying hydrated was definitely a challenge there. But yeah, I'm pretty used to it, and obviously having the opportunity and chance to train in those kind of conditions really helps. So anyone that's racing in a hotter climate than they live, I would definitely recommend trying to figure out some heat training in your training protocol to get you ready for it on race day, because otherwise it's going to be tough and it's going to be challenging. Even so, when it's that hot though, it's never very easy. Next question. During this race you only carry your belt with gel and no bottle at all. How do you manage strategies to stay hydrated for this 50k course? So yeah, within the race I only had the Nathan Vaporcra waist belt on. I did have a bottle. I had a bottle on the back of that pack, so I had a 500ml bottle on my waist there, which I was carrying as well at intervals in the race. This suited me really well for the race. Sometimes it's important to weigh up going into these shorter, faster races, how much gear you want to carry, and for me I always like to be as light as possible. If it's not the steepest of races and if it is a fast race, it's always good to feel like you haven't got a lot of quick gear or equipment on you. I managed to get away with just the one handheld in this race, even though it was so hot and humid. There's plenty of aid stations along the way, so plenty of opportunity to fill up with water. So I just managed with that 500ml pretty well. I did fuel with Humid Run energy gels throughout, so I think I had 5 gels. I had planned on taking a few more, but with the heat it was just really difficult to get anything down besides fluids. So I also had some electrolyte, green tea flavoured Humid Run electrolyte mix, which is really good for helping me stay nice and hydrated. The electrolytes are definitely important when it's as hot as that and as humid as that, when you're sweating so much. Keeping those salts balanced and also having the carbohydrate mixed in there as well really helps to keep the hydration up. So for me that was my strategy for the race. I did drink plenty throughout the race. I don't know how much I drank. It was quite a lot, especially in that second lap when things got a bit hotter, but I just managed pretty well with that 500ml bottle between aid stations. What data fields do you have on your running watch whilst running? What values are important for you? So data fields are something that I always change on my running watch depending on what the session is. So within this race I knew that it was going to be really fast and it wasn't that hilly. There's a bit of climbing in there, but it wasn't as much as a usual ultra, so I didn't really have any altitude or climbing data fields on my watch. All I was really interested in was my pace, my average pace as well. So my current pace, my average pace, also yeah, just distance. So just keeping it really simple. In a race I don't like to complicate things. There's so many different fields and data fields you can have on your watch, and you can almost kind of get brain fatigue trying to think about too much within the race, and really it's just important to listen to yourself. Typically on the training run I will use heart rate as well, so I have my heart rate zones on there. For this race I didn't wear a heart rate monitor. I do enjoy training with a heart rate monitor, but for racing I don't always enjoy it. I prefer to feel like I'm not, I don't know, I just again like to feel kind of light and free and natural. and listen to my body's own kind of perspective of how things are going. Getting dehydrated, getting hot in these races obviously can affect heart rate massively as well, which is certainly something to listen to, but I prefer just to kind of go off feel and go off flow as well. So it's good to have a good balance of those. Typically in training I mix things up all the time, especially on the trails. I'll often have vert on the screen as well. But when it comes to data fields, I don't like to overcomplicate it. I like to keep it pretty simple and to yeah, just to enjoy the motion and enjoy the movement and listen to the body more than anything. So I think that's all the questions I'm going to answer right now. I don't want to make the video too long, but there's lots of awesome feedback, and thank you all for those questions. I'll try and address more of them in the future on a future Q&A video. I do enjoy making those, and you guys really appreciate it as well, those of you who watch the channel regularly. So if you like this video, guys, please hit that like button. Please hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. If you're after coaching or anything else along those terms, you can always check out my website, harryruns.com. Also, it's got my upcoming races if you're interested in where else I'm racing this year. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Really enjoy making these for you, and I hope it inspires some of you to go out there and search out some races across the world, maybe somewhere a bit different, maybe out here in Malaysia or maybe in Southeast Asia somewhere else. So thanks for watching, guys, and happy running.